Second Cup is brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock on the start of a Friday. TGIF. We have made it to the end of this freaking week. Thank God. For small miracles.
So we've got a few things.
Have a great day, everyone.
Edward, we still have to do the show. We've got a few things we wanted to talk about today. We had some breaking news that happened overnight. You want to first talk about what happened in West Seneca, and then we'll go into Buffalo?
Absolutely. So here's the deal. West Seneca police have this area cordoned off on Route 16, which is just off of Union. It's center at Duchess. And Jordan's going to pull up some video that we shot earlier this morning from our photographer, Mel, who was at the scene. This car seemingly involved in a pedestrian-involved crash. It's right between the two barriers at center and east, I believe. And it hasn't moved in hours. And at this point, we know that one person was hit by a car, but the extent of their injuries is unclear. How this crash happened, what exactly happened here, still unclear. But West Seneca police, when I called them, oh gosh, let's see what time I actually called. It was probably about
6:30, 6:15 maybe?
Let me see. I'm going to look.
We were sitting next to each other on the anchor desk.
It was probably about 6:15 that I called. And, I said, okay, what's going on here? They said, it's a pedestrian-involved crash. That's all they could really say. I said, well, is this going to be closed for hours, or how long is this going to be closed? And they said, yeah, it's going to be closed for a long time. And, that to me kind of raises some red flags about what's going on here.
The severity of what might have happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Having covered this stuff for so many years. Again, this is a pedestrian-involved crash in West Seneca on Center at Duchess, right off of Union Road. And we don't know anything about the person who was hurt other than that this was a pedestrian-involved crash. And as we get more from West Seneca police, we'll keep you posted. So as they mentioned hours that this is going to be closed, it's still closed this morning at 8 o'clock. So it could go on for some time.
So then the other breaking news we were covering overnight, and you've probably seen this video if you've been up, scrolling on Facebook, or watching our show this morning, is this fire that happened on Buffalo's east side. So Jordan's going to pull up that video too. So this is at the former St. Anne's campus, which was a Roman Catholic church there and a school. And it's at Broadway and Emslie. And you're going to see this video. This fire went to 4 alarms. And firefighters were out there overnight. They got called a little after 10 o'clock. And then it quickly progressed.
When we're saying 4 alarms here, we're talking this is a major fire, and firefighters from all over the city have to come to this one area and respond, and then kind of have to backfill in different firehouses. The last time we saw a fire of this magnitude was a couple of years ago when Jason Arno was killed in that fire on Main Street. It was actually the 700 block of Main Street. So we haven't seen a significant fire of this size to this magnitude in years. It's not often that we see a 4-alarm fire in Buffalo, but we certainly do see significant fires, though this building's so big.
It's huge. So, and perspective too, so they got called a little after 10 o'clock, let's say. It was under control at 3:45 a.m.
Right.
So just think about the resources you're pouring into this. Here's what the most updated information we have. Building was confirmed vacant, no injuries to report, $600,000 damage to the building. It's going to be an emergency demo. They don't have an update on what actually started this fire.
No, but you know what? It is a miracle that no one was inside. No one was hurt. This is a vacant building.
I know.
This building, though, has gone through so much, and it's got such a storied past here in Buffalo. You were saying it was built in the 1800s.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to dig into that history a little bit, or just take a look back at what this actually was, because at first we're looking at it, we didn't know if it was a school, was it the church, because it's this big complex. So we have a family friend. His name is Craig Spears, and he's very involved in, what's been going on in the diocese. Craig's a parishioner at St. Michael's, and he's, we've talked to him about churches closing. Hi, Craig. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Katie and Ed.
And we wanted to ask you a little bit too, because you know the history of St. Anne's. Just tell us a little bit about what actually is on that campus, and then what building here was actually affected that we were looking at.
You're looking at the fire site was the school building. It was 4 full floors plus the basement. Very large school at one time, housed over 2,500 elementary students. Is probably the largest elementary school in the entire diocese. It had an unusual feature. The gymnasium was on the top floor of the building, gorgeous inside. all wood beamed. It's one of 4 buildings on the St. Anne's complex, including the church, the rectory, and the convent. All very large structures built in 1886.
Wow.
You know, when you see this, knowing the history, knowing your history here, when you kind of see this building, albeit vacant, go up in flames, what do you think as a parishioner in the diocese and somebody who knows the history
A
here?
Western New Yorker, you know?
I think that it's a hugely sad moment because of its history. It was established as a German American parish almost exclusively. It was not that in later years, but the German community basically got together and built the complex with donations in the late 19th century. So it has a large part in the diocesan history, and it's sad to see this grand old building, destroyed in this 4-alarm fire.
Well, and not only destroyed, they're going to knock it down.
Right. Yeah, Craig, what did this building mean to the people who were part of that parish?
Oh, it was essential. Actually, after the diocese closed the church, the parish continued to hold masses in the school building itself. So that was in operation probably until I would say 2010, maybe a little after, as a church, because the diocese refused to repair the church. So the congregation went and had masses in the school. The last pastor of the St. Anne's was Father Roy Herberger.
And Craig, we've got a couple people here saying, it truly looked like a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Had you been inside it? What can you tell us about the building itself?
Yes, I was inside the school building a number of times, and it often held diocesan elementary basketball tournaments. And my sons both played for St. Rose of Lima, and we often participated in the basketball tournaments at St. Anne's School.
Mm-hmm. I wonder because you mentioned the German relation here and how Germans built this building, German Americans. This is on Buffalo's east side on Elmsley, and we know that there's such a strong Polish history. And we know that so many people have so many connections to the east side and have since left the city. What would that mean, this kind of a fire, this kind of destruction? What does that mean to this community in particular?
It's a devastating blow to the German community. And remember, the German community was the predecessor of the Polish community on the east side. And it was a very large community and very powerful community, controlled many of the offices in city government, including the mayor's office and members of the Common Council. So it was, it's a shocking blow. It became a regional parish when the Germans basically moved to the suburbs or farther out on the east side of Buffalo. And they desperately tried to save the parish, and they tried to get the diocese to help them repair the church and preserve the parish, but the diocese denied them the ability, one, to raise funds to repair the parish church and to repair the school.
Yeah, this was that Friends of St. Anne's, right? This was their big campaign all those years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I wonder,
Very true.
we're going to see this building eventually knocked down. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of memories here, and a lot of people are going to have a lot to say. But what do you hope becomes of this property now, knowing that it's on Buffalo's east side in an area where there are so many vacant lots? What would you like to see on what is really hallowed ground?
Well, the diocese did sell the property to a corporation called Crescent Holdings. In 2022, they sold the entire complex for $250,000. This is a Muslim congregation, and I believe they had plans to turn it into an Islamic worship center.
Oh,
That's the last known potential use for the complex.
You know, Craig, the one thing that I start thinking too when we're talking about this and we're looking at what was this old, beautiful building, and then we're going through what the diocese is, having happen right now. So we are seeing these old, beautiful churches or these old, beautiful buildings, many of them closing, many of them shuttering. And now we have a fire in one and we've lost, right, this piece of history. What would you like to see when we talk about these older churches? We don't want to see these things go away. These are part of our history. Maybe could you touch on why it's so important to hang on to these buildings and try to preserve these buildings?
Yeah, I think it's important for the diocese to listen better to the parishioner groups who are trying to preserve these buildings and preserve their parish communities. In the case of St. Anne's, it was the diocese versus the parishioners, which should never be the case. The diocese should always work collaboratively with the parish community to preserve these beautiful buildings. St. Anne's, for example, was always on the Holy Thursday pilgrimage tour of churches because it was renowned for its gorgeous interior. Now, the church was not damaged in this fire, apparently, but the church was sold, and it will, the religious relics have been removed from the church itself. So that era is gone at St. Anne's.
Yeah, very sad.
It is, and when you consider how beautiful the buildings are. We're talking the Basilica, we're talking St. Stan's, we're talking about all of these beautiful buildings that are frankly not built like they were.
If you built a new church, you're not getting quite the
exactly.
same. Yeah.
You can see the history, you feel it in the walls, you see it in the building, and unfortunately this is going to be no longer. We really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with us here
Craig,
this morning.
for your perspective this morning.
That's my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So Paula says, I worked at St. Rose of Lima, St. Bernard, St. Margaret, St. Lawrence, all closed now. I don't know what's happened to any of the school buildings. They're possibly dilapidated, but I wish they were used. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to find reuse for these old buildings so that we don't lose sight of what we were.
Well, and because, as Craig pointed out, so many of the churches had schools.
Right.
Like my mom, for example, went to All Saints when she was growing up, and like that church had the school right next to it. Now they're both closed.
My friend Tiffany went to Holy Angels. How many people went to Holy Angels now closed?
My
right?
poor mom too. They're no
right,
longer.
Exactly. So, this is one of those big stories that we're going to be following throughout the day because of the nostalgia, because of the history,
and also because you look at that video and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. Okay. We'll switch gears this morning, talking about the Bills. And so one thing this morning that we mentioned is how so many people are going to have the opportunity to purchase memorabilia from inside the old Highmark Stadium. We know there is not ever going to be a game inside that property ever again.
Right.
And now they're trying to dismantle everything and sell it off, splitting the cost 50-50 with the stadium, with the county, rather.
Let's talk about what one of the, I don't know if we'd call it a hot ticket item.
People are interested.
But people are interested. I'm not going to say I personally would be interested.
No.
But it's the it's the troughs from the men's restroom.
We're talking about the urinal trough. We're talking about the big...
Apparently this is like a... As
Thank
a woman...
Thank you. Exactly. Let me tell you, as a man, you don't even have to say it. As a man, you're standing cheek to cheek with some other man. But it's true. You are literally this close to somebody else peeing in a trough. This is no joke. This is a reality. And for those of us who have a problem with it, thank you. It's disgusting.
The comments are just flying in right now.
So, okay. So this morning...
Our question is...
Would you buy this?
And there are people who are like, yeah, I want one.
Disgusting. I mean, the guy was talking about it. The guy who we had in Giovanni's story was like, yeah, people want this. Can you imagine a man cave?
Who has set up an interview next to this thing, like in the bathroom.
It is horrifying as a man to be in there.
Heather says, listen, that's a conversation piece for a man cave.
Okay. Well, so Kimberly called me after the story aired, and I picked up the phone in the commercial break. She called me during the break, and she's like, hi, is this Ed? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, Ed, I'm so sorry. I thought I was going to leave you a voicemail, but you picked up, and she's telling me about the trough. She had a comment about the trough. I said, okay, I'm going to hang up. And Kimberly, do you mind? I'm going to have you leave me a voicemail. Do you mind if I play this on Second Cup? She goes, absolutely not. Please.
Wait until you hear her thoughts.
Okay, so listen to this. Here we go.
Hey, Ed, this is Kim Crawford from Kenmore. I'm saying that as disgusting as you think it is, I would buy a trough if I could. I would use it in my yard. I have no grass in my yard. It's all parking lot. But I think it would be awesome for vegetation so that I could maybe have my own little garden. Have a great day.
So funny.
Thanks, Kim. Can I play that again? Just so that you could...
Hey, Ed, this is Kim Crawford from Kenmore. I'm saying that as disgusting as you think it is, I would buy a trough if I could. I would use it in my yard. I have no grass in my yard. It's all parking lot. But I think it would be awesome for vegetation so that I could maybe have my own little garden. Have a great day.
Hope she's not growing...
insane.
Hope she's not growing eggplants. But maybe she is.
I have no grass in my backyard, too. I had Paul build me a raised bed out of plywood. And I planted some marigolds in it.
Nature's fertilizer, baby.
She's growing peas.
But seriously, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, these troughs, your mom wants to know, are they big? Yes, they are disgusting. You could probably fit like 10 guys if we are this close peeing next to each other. Can you imagine? I need to tell you something. This is, as a man, one of the most horrific experiences. You know, we're talking about looking dead ahead. You do not veer off course. You are looking at the specks in the concrete walls, thinking, God, I gotta get out of here. Please, God, please help me. Why am I doing this? I need a couple more drinks and this will be fine.
I love how it goes from disgusting to fine.
Oh my God.
You know,
Well, thank you for that lesson, Ed.
there are many times that I wish that I was born a man.
This is not one of them.
Because let me tell you, there's a lot of benefits.
Katie,
Edward. This is not one of those times.
I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who's like, okay, I'm going to wait for the stall. Because then you know it's like, then you know somebody's going to be like, oh, the gay kid over here. That's the last thing I need. Like, all of these thoughts go through my mind. I can't even. I get goosebumps. It's filthy.
There's a lot of other items that you could purchase from the old Highmark Stadium. You could buy seats or signs.
So, Marlene, are there stalls? There are stalls, but they're limited.
Right.
And
Well,
sometimes they get gross.
I mean,
because-
any restroom at like a big facility like that is going to get gross. We can move on from this.
Linda, big Buffalo Saturday tomorrow.
Huge Buffalo Saturday.
Bills play at 4:30. The Sabres play at 12:30. 4:30.
So we're starting our day with the Sabres game, then we're transitioning to a Bills game.
Mark, that's funny. I totally get that. And so much of it is in cans now, so I bet they'll just transfer it over to the new stadium. Yeah, so what do we think about the Bills game? Bills win over Denver? What do we think here? Denver Broncos. Ed Oliver has been seen practicing.
Yeah, no word on if he's going to be there. Jordan Poyer's out, though. Who else was out? Curtis Samuel, was it?
Yeah. Max Hairston is out.
You know, maybe it wasn't Curtis Samuel. Maybe I'm lying about that. It was Jordan Poyer, Max Hairston. I can't remember Curtis Samuel. You know, it makes me think back to what Deion Dawkins said the other day about how everybody's hurting this time of year.
Sure.
It really just makes you, when you hear a comment like that, just like put into perspective how physical this game is.
Well, and it's violent. I was saying to my dad, remember like the Roman fights back in the day when they were in the Coliseum and they're fighting with lions, basically? That kind of reminds me about what football is like. It is a violent game.
Yeah.
We're basically putting, 22 people from each in total on the field, and we're saying, go!
Yeah.
All 70,000 people are circling them, watching them with laser precision. cursing them out in some cases and watching them tear their ACLs, break legs, break bones, die on the field like DeMar Hamlin. And, like, what? What are we doing? When you think about it like that.
Then on Monday, we're all like, I could have done that.
Right. Come on, McDermott. Why didn't you call this play?
I don't know why he did that. I would have done this.
But, sir, do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, how that is like it just seems so barbaric.
Yeah, sure. Sure does.
Playing in Denver, Heather says, is different due to the altitude. They need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, and we know that Prater, the kicker, played in Denver for some time, so he may be used to this. The altitude is a legit issue in Denver. I mean, it knocks the wind out of you, and I don't think that you realize it until it's too late,
And
potentially.
it is, again, as you hit the end of the season here, we saw Matt Prater was out for a little while. Like, you do have guys who have played through these injuries. Like, everybody's, struggling towards the end of the season. But we also know how good Josh Allen is in the postseason.
Sure is. The MVP for a reason. Julie says Josh played in that high altitude before. John says, I hope they're all healthy to play tomorrow. And Noreen says they seem to want to take Josh out. He's such a warrior. Right? Remember how banged up he was against the Jags last week?
I know. And you, truthfully, you really hope that no team is ever, thinking, along that line.
No.
Try to take somebody. I would really hope not. That's not what this is.
Well, like Mahomes, though. Mahomes was out for the season after a while because he got hurt.
No, I know, but I mean, a team, targeting somebody.
Sure.
You just certainly hope that that's not
Well,
the case.
they're going after the most important players.
Of course. Right.
So, I got altitude sickness, your mom says once.
You're flat in your back.
Yeah, and, you have a cocktail. 1 is good. 2 will kill you. It is so just like that, too.
Yeah.
You don't
Paula
realize.
says those players are brave, reaching for the ball when they see 300-pound guys running at them. I know. I'd be running the other way.
Mack
but they're
trucks.
so much faster. Paul always says, you know how sometimes you just have these crazy conversations with your significant other? I'm just like, do you think there's anybody who plays professional football that I could run faster than? He was like, absolutely not.
You about you?
Well, I like to start with who do you think's faster, me or Josh Allen?
Is that actually a crazy conversation, or is that just
Who do you think's faster, me or Deion Dawkins? Who do you think's? And he's always just like Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins.
Deion doesn't really run that much.
But
I mean,
Paul says 100%. All these guys are way faster.
actually, I would pay to watch that. Who would win, Deion or you?
He would blow me out of the water.
He's tall. He's big. He's got long legs.
He's so athletic. Paul's like, these people are uber athletes. Now, I have a friend who is a very tall, thin runner, and he's a distance
His name
runner.
is Ryan.
So then,
Hey, Ryan.
then I transition. Who do you think's faster, Josh Allen or Ryan?
That's a great question.
Who do you think's fat? And Paul's always just like, Josh Allen. No, I think when you got to in a different, what do they do, 100 meter or whatever they're the football players do, 100 yards. Yeah. I'm like, that's their measurement, I'm not saying how long the field is. I'm saying when they,
What are you saying?
when they do, when they're at the
You're like Jordan.
When they're,
What are you saying right now?
when they're at the combine, the measurements.
Oh, the
that they
dash.
do. Yeah, is it
Yeah,
the dash?
the meter, 100 meter
however
dash.
far they go.
Or the 40-yard dash.
Paul's convinced any NFL players, light years ahead of any of us.
Yeah.
It would just be if it came to something different. If you're a distance runner, sure, maybe you're running a marathon faster than one of them.
Mark says, I would like to know what Jordan thinks about the new New York Giants coach.
Well, as you can see, decked out in my Giants gear. I mean, what's there not to love right now? I mean, as I was telling to Aaron, a meteorologist earlier, we already hit rock bottom, the Giants. Nothing really can hit it harder at this point. So why not bring Harbaugh on? I mean, he was probably the best candidate out there. So I'm very excited to see this. I think he'll have good time with Jackson Dart. Hopefully our wide receivers are also going to be nice and healed up for the season come fall. So hopefully with those three, wherever they draft in April, hopefully some sort of offensive lineman to really help out, protect Dart. I think it could be a better season than what it was. I mean, we can't really get worse than what we already were at this point. So,
Mark, I just want to acknowledge something. Your picture is of the Bronco.
ooh.
What are you thinking, Mark?
Mark, what is that? Heather, by the way, says football players are faster in those short distances because they're so explosive. They are.
Sure, that makes sense.
Remember when we went to the training the field house, and we were kind of in awe of all the stuff that they can do. These guys are just like uber athletes. It's not like we didn't know that, but you see it in action and you're like, wow.
Their weight room is incredible. I mean, they've got every amenity you can think of. It's really incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, they should. They're an NFL team, but.
Howard, all of this talk is an early excuse for a loss, so let's not think about the altitude. No.
Oh, no, Mark. Can we bring you on this year? I don't want to have to ban you from second cover, but I'll do it.
Mark, why do you like the Broncos?
Link doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
Haven't heard from Mark in a while.
Sherry says Keon needs to get his head in the game. No doubt. If we're talking about next man up mentality, Keon's got to step up here. He can't be doing this cocky nonsense. You know, ain't nobody get past me. That's why I'm number 0. Like, we need you, Keon. Do a good job. Do your job.
Hi.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Aaron Mason is here, everyone. Let's hear it for Aaron Mason.
Yay!
Yay!
Super yay!
Is this for me?
Thank you. Is this Katie?
Is yours black or is
I picked a black.
Thank you.
Because I have. I
thank
think this
you.
one's you.
This is full. Be careful. Hey, do you want to say hello? Aaron, why don't you just come in? Just come in for a second
Yeah, you
and say
got your
hello.
cute little earmuffs on. Yeah, because I'm gonna put my French vanilla creamer in this.
Aaron Mason, our news director, everyone.
Our fearless leader.
Go Bills.
Very good. I got a message from somebody because we took that crash live at the end of the show, who was very concerned that we didn't say "Go Bills" at the end of the show. But I said, "Don't worry, it wasn't the time, but we were thinking it." Just so everybody knows.
Thanks,
Oh.
Aaron. It's Aaron. It's your coffee that did that, so be careful.
Where?
He said it was very full.
Oh, okay. Well,
Jeanette says Aaron is a cutie.
ah, yes.
Peter says, "Hi, Aaron. How's it going?" He's not here anymore.
He dropped and ran.
Love this show the best. Thank you, Danielle. We like to have a good time. We like to just have some fun. And if it's not fun for us, it's definitely not going to be fun for you. We call it like it is. Barb says, I've met and seen him a few times. Wish they were playing. John says, tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I got to be honest with you. I am so grateful that it's 4:30
Oh, God,
and
me
not
too.
8 o'clock.
4:30 is the
4:30.
time I was hoping for.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30.
4:30.
4.
You should hear my mom. She says 14.
I like your mom.
I love my mom.
Not nearly as annoying as you are.
Well, you don't really know her that well.
Oh, I do.
Deborah says Josh needs to have fun. Here's what I'm going to say. I think we need to let Josh call the plays he sees. We need to stop giving the ball to James Cook constantly.
middle.
Right. Cook with the carry. Cook up the middle. Cook 2 yards. Cook. Oh, loss of 2. He's great, but he's predictable. And we need to just
Yeah.
do it. Daniel says, call it as you see it. And if you don't see it, make it up.
That's what we do. I'm just kidding.
Speak for yourself.
That's what we do on this show.
Heather says, would love it if the show was to 9 every morning. Yesterday was awesome, like every day, but longer. Danielle's on my side here, right? We talk about this in my house.
Oh, do you?
Oh, I'm
Bill,
sorry.
You know, Marguerite, here's the thing. I would love for us to like match on a really like. Remember,
I think we did a good job today.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hate this outfit today.
Why?
Because
like
it's
this
like got
jacket.
the really baggy concept, like the big.
Doesn't this one have gold buttons? Where's the gold button one?
It has gold buttons.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my God, is there plastic over this?
yeah. It's like the plastic that was on the plug under your desk yesterday.
Okay. How long have I had this jacket?
Years. How come
No,
the dry cleaner didn't remove
It's
this?
not years. This is a newish one that is just like one that I had.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about then, right?
So you're thinking of it's actually black and it has gold.
Oh, yeah, the
buttons.
one that looks like Minnie Mouse when you wear the red, right?
Okay. Oh, that's a skirt. That's what you're thinking about. Yeah. No,
Oh.
but I do have a black one like this has gold, and I had a maroon one kind of like this.
Yeah.
It met an untimely end.
How?
I got bigger. I had a baby.
Well, okay. How about the guy on TikTok this morning, or the person on TikTok Live who's like, "Oh, you've got a little belly there."
Said to him, thank God.
Holy
I'd
cow!
be in tears. No, so this one is relatively new.
Well, I'm gonna go starve myself.
Thank God, I'm like, this is 4 years old.
We gotta go.
All right, bye guys.